What is up, guys? How's it going? And welcome to another video. Today I wanted to discuss something that's been frustrating the heck out of me. So this is going to be hopefully a shorter video, but definitely a rant video. And we are going to talk about WATA Games. If you guys don't know, WATA Games is a company that grades video games, sealed games, cartridges, all sorts of things in regards to video games. So back when the Mario sold for like $1.78 million or whatever ridiculous price that was at, I was kind of like, why don't I try this? I'll buy a couple of games, I'll send it into WATA, I'll get them back, I'll see if there's some sort of premium on selling them and just see how it goes. So I bought a couple games and I decided to send them to WATA. And at the time, those games were selling for between $400 and $600 in high grades. And the two copies of the games that I got were pretty good-looking copies. Like, I didn't see anything particularly wrong with them. So I wanted to get them back as fast as possible. What I did was they have a speed run tier, which is essentially their express. They have a standard tier, a speed run tier, and like a walkthrough, basically. I forget what they call it, but it's their fastest tier. So the tier at the time was 35 days, and I think it was $80 per game. So I was paying up. I was paying quite a bit for a faster service. Well, I did tell you that this was a rant video, so you can probably guess what I'm ranting about. They're not here yet. They acknowledged the games into the system on the 28th of July. I said 35 days, right? I'm pretty sure at this point it's been over 90 business days, and I still have not seen the games, and there hasn't been any updates to me from them, apart from updates that I had to basically claw out of them to give me any sort of reason why it's taking this long to get my games back. So I'm going to share with you those updates, and you might be a person who also has games with them right now and are wondering why it's taking 3 times as long when you paid for Express to get your games back. And the reason is going to absolutely blow your mind, because when they actually told me what the reason was, it blew mine. I've had multiple back and forths with the support email. I'm not even going to call it a real person, because the response that you get in your first support request is basically a copy and pasted crap response, right? And so you have to follow up. You have to be determined to get a good response, from these people, because I'm not going to say that they don't care, but what I will say is their first line of defense in terms of their support staff is literally just a copy and pasted response that they will give you every single time. That response goes a little like this. Thank you for contacting WATA Games. Your order has now made its way to post-grading, where it has been there. Okay, he doesn't say this, but where it's been there for over 60 days, it's been in this post-grading phase, where it's being checked, labeled, encapsulated, and prepped for shipping. This step tends to be where the speedrun orders spend the bulk of their processing time and require extra time. Your patience is greatly appreciated. We are informing customers as often and as accurately as we can. Not true. I have not received one email, not one response that's been worthy of being a accurate informational response from them about my order at all. There's been no communication whatsoever. And when you go on their website, there's nothing at the top of the page like, hey, times are being extended. There was one a few months ago, a banner that said our turnaround times are being extended for whatever reason. And it said that instead of 35 days for a speed run, it was going to take 45 days. Clearly that one wasn't true either. And currently we are running behind our business day estimates, but we aren't always able to give accurate ETAs. They will not give you an ETA at all. If you ask like how much longer it's going to take, anything like that, they will not give you an ETA whatsoever. To keep shipping running smoothly, we are unable to expedite orders or move anyone's place in line. So I didn't actually ask them to move my place in line. I may have said something snarky like it's taking too long or whatever, but I never asked them to like put me in the front of the line or anything like that. I assure you that all the submissions are safely stored, and we will be shipping your order as quickly as possible. Please let me know if there's any additional questions. So you're going to get that basically every time that you ask like for whatever information they can give you on your order. Basically, be patient, it's delayed, it's being stored, and screw you, essentially. It's going to take however long it takes. At one point, I actually asked them, like, hey, And I know from experience from PSA and CGC and these companies with trading cards, they don't refund you. They're not going to refund me for it taking 3 times as long, even though that's kind of nuts. Because if you think about any other service industry, if any other service industry took 3 times as long as it was supposed to, you would demand some sort of monetary reconciliation for the extended amount of time. But with these grading companies, apparently we don't care. We're just like, oh yeah, it's just going to take however long you want, even though I'm losing money per every day that it sits in your warehouse. I don't get how we're not more frustrated about the fact that turnaround times can just triple, quadruple, like go from 45 days to 245 days, and yet they don't feel responsible at all for refunding you some money or doing something like to reconcile that issue. I don't get it. So yeah, at one point I did ask like, hey, are you gonna give me a partial refund because this is taking 3 times longer? Like, can I pay you for the tier that's supposed to be longer? They basically said that if I wanted to downgrade my submission, they were willing to do that, but then it would go into the queue of the downgraded submissions and it would basically start from the back of the line again. So it was like, hey, if you want a refund, it's going to take you like the year to get your game back. So, haha. All right, but I did say that the reason why it's taking so long is going to just blow your mind, because it blew my mind. And here you go. My response basically was, you need to do better. You need to stop giving me this copy-pasted response. You need to give me a meaningful update on my particular order, because this is starting to get ridiculous. It's over 90 business days on a 35-day turnaround. You need to let me know why it's taking so long. Like, why is it in this post-grading phase for this long? What are we waiting for? Like, what is happening? So they told me. And, Jesus. This is word for word what they said. Unfortunately, your order contains games requiring a DVD-sized case, and we have run into additional shortages and delays for cases that accommodate your games. A grading company ran out of cases. They ran out of plastic cases to fit my DVD-sized game. That's like a Kentucky Fried Chicken running out of chicken. I'm sure it's happened before, but I'm pretty sure you should put in some defenses for that happening, like have a good warehouse stocked full of cases or something so that you don't run out of plastic cases if there is some sort of shortage happening in plastic or whatever's happening right now in terms of, like, how does a grading company run out of cases? Imagine if PSA sent an email and was like, hey, sorry about all your cards, but we ran out of cases. I know that we have a 1 million card backlog, but we ran out of cases. Like, what? Are you serious? You ran out of cases. You literally grade things. That is your primary objective as a company. You grade things and you seal them in plastic. And you ran out of the plastic that you seal things with. What? What? All right, so this has caused significant backup for the games in this tier. Why this tier? Are they only encapsulating the tier that you pay like $150 per game for? Probably, I would think. So any tier from my tier, which is a speed run, which is $80 a game, which is expensive, down to the lowest tier, are probably not even being encased right now at all. They're just sitting in a warehouse waiting to be encased while all these other like high value games are being encased because people are paying, $200 for them or whatever. How do you run out of plastic? At this point, we do not have an ETA for the cases. They literally don't have cases. Yeah, we don't know when we're going to get our cases because we buy them from China. And, I don't know. There's a plastic shortage. Deal with it. It's like, what? Well, we are coordinating daily with our suppliers to get them delivered as soon as possible. We apologize for the convenience and appreciate your continued patience. As soon as possible. That was, 60 days ago? Would have been as soon as possible, and yet we're now at 90-some days, and I probably won't even get my games before the end of the year because they don't have the cases to grade and encapsulate the games. This literally, it just blew my mind, so I had to make a video on it. If you guys are sitting there thinking, why the hell is WATA taking so long? Where are my games? And you haven't gotten this far yet, this is why. They ran out of cases. They don't have cases to encapsulate our games that we have at their service, yet they're still charging us $80 a piece. And I put 2 games in there. So they've been operating on my $160 this entire time because they charge you up front for a service that you're not going to get the service, the time turnaround, the actual service advertised for because they ran out of cases. And they're a grading company. Jesus Christ.